place.
It's in third
There
place.
are 5 runners in this race, and this one's finishing third.
And it is Home Sweet Home Alone.
Can you believe it?
Also known as Home Alone 6.
We're putting Home Alone 6. This is 2021.
Yeah.
We're putting this one in third place.
I will say this one was neck and neck with Home Alone 3 for me. And I think the only thing that bumped it over is that I genuinely get the sense this was written by somebody who really liked Home Alone.
Yes, we really need to give credit where it's due here.
Yeah.
This one is written by Mikey Day, I believe.
SNL guy.
alum. Yeah. And there are also a lot of other SNL and just like sketch comedy alum in this film.
It's directed by Dan Mazer as well. He's worked on a lot of the stuff with Sacha Baron Cohen. He was involved in the Borat. He wrote that. And then it's starring Ellie Kemper, who I think most people probably know her from The Office, and Rob Delaney. And then the kids from Jojo Rabbit. Tell you what,
Archie Yates.
Archie Yates, this kid, he's tied for maybe worst kid in Home Alone.
He's a totally unlikable protagonist. And I think this is where this movie takes some risks, and I think unfortunately it fails. Yeah. Because I don't think the risks pay off, but I do respect it for the risks it takes, because at least it breaks out of the traditional formula. The home invaders are characters who we know from the start, who are sort of set up as the protagonists.
Yeah, Harry and Marv.
They're a sympathetic couple. They're like the struggling married couple, and they are as sympathetic as the home invaders ever get.
It feels like they kind of merged the Harry and Marv and the Kate and Peter characters. They do feel like they're the main parents in this movie, even though they're not parents of the main kid.
Yes, I think that's very astute, because also they are similar to Kate and Peter in that they're slightly detestable. Like, they don't seem like great upstanding citizens. They sort of seem like very self-involved. Yeah. They're still sympathetic, and they're set up to be characters who we like. Yeah. But it almost feels like fan fiction of what if Kate and Peter were put in a position where they had to rob a house.
Yeah, because the main plot is that these two parents are going to lose their house and have to move out of the city if they can't come up with money to pay their mortgage or something like that. The husband is selling a doll that belonged to his mother or grandmother, and it's an antique doll. It's worth a lot of money, and for some reason it goes missing while this kid was viewing their house. I think it was up for sale or something like that. And so they believe that this kid who visited from another house, whose parents then go on a trip and leave him home alone. It's then the parents selling the house, trying to steal the doll back from the kid who was home alone.
Here's also the introduction. There are much more famous people in this movie than this, but I think the shout out for this one is the return of Devin Rattray.
It is.
And he plays Buzz McAllister in this movie.
Yeah. He is a cop who gets a call that a kid has been left home alone, and he basically just calls back and says, "That's a prank. My brother's pranking me because a long time ago we left him home alone for Christmas." And so every Christmas he calls in a report that a kid's been left home alone. It's just a prank. And then
they definitely do a little bit of fan service here.
They do. They also says, "Oh yeah, the house that it was called from, that's a McAllister security system installed there."
That's right.
So we can assume that Kevin McAllister, according to this lore, went on to own his own home security company, right? Essentially.
Now, this film is sort of reviled. It has terrible reviews, but I think that we actually probably like this film more than the average audience, because like you said in the onset, this is clearly written and made by people who are Home Alone fans like us. Yeah. And I think the parts that we really appreciated were these very obscure nods to things that I don't even think
average viewers really care about.
Or even big fans, right? For instance, the milk.
The milk
I think
gag.
we were really taken by the milk gag.
Yeah, that's not something that's obvious when you watch the first Home Alone film, that refrigerator is just stuffed full of milk, and they're constantly talking about how they need milk. Right. And they need to get more milk. Drink some milk. I want to get rid of it. Yeah. And this movie does some subtle nods to, I mean, not so subtle, a little later, but I remember the one time they open the refrigerator up and the door is packed
filled with milk.
With milk.
And we called that immediately. And then they call back to it where the dad is trying to come up with an excuse to go check out this house. And he's like, I got to go get some milk. And they're like, we have tons of milk
You
here.
are good on milk.
You're good on milk,
Like,
man. We really appreciated that. I think this movie, it's really hard to make a sixth Home Alone movie.
Yeah. I do remember going into that film too, thinking I wasn't going to like it. And that joke being the thing that kind of disarmed me. It's like, okay, there's at least something here. And in a way that doesn't often happen in other sequels, you know? They're thoughtful callbacks to the original. Now,
well, and it's so deep. It's like, are we the only audience for this? Because these guys who made this movie know the original way too well. And if they're trying to make references to a general audience, it's going to go over their heads.
I will say the thing I didn't like were the direct callbacks when characters are delivering lines straight from other films.
Giving up yet, or are you thirsty for more?
All of the traps in this movie are garbage. Like, not a single one is funny. And like most of them are just downright stupid. It's a real mixed bag that I wouldn't say don't watch it. I wouldn't say it's poison for the mind, but it's not great.
I am trying to get home to my son, who is alone. I'm scared. And he needs his mother.